The beard is gone, the stash is in, and Gojira is still king of the monsters. But is Godzilla Minus One the greatest Godzilla movie ever made? Spoiler alert, I think it may be. Let's get into it. Hey movie fans, I'm Matt, and today we're looking at Godzilla Minus One, starring Ryunosuke Kamiki and Minami Hamabe, and is directed by Takashi Yamazaki. Now, I shouldn't have to spend too much time on the nature of the Godzilla character itself. I mean, currently, we're in the middle of a monsters universe featuring not only Godzilla, but King Kong here in the States. And within this cinematic universe, we've gotten some wonderfully fun movies as well as TV shows. Monarch: Legacy of Monsters just finished its first season on Apple TV, and it's a great show if you haven't had a chance to check it out. But to be fair, the Western's current iteration of the Godzilla isn't really the type of figure that imposes fear. Well, cause in today's cinema, he's doing this. Don't get me wrong, some of the best films to go see are just those popcorn type ones where we can watch the monster smash or things explode. And to be fair, I think that's what Western audiences like. Honestly, we have a weird fetish for end of the world type of imagery or just these crazy things that haven't happened to us yet. Sometimes I feel that in the midst of monster smashing or things exploding, we get lost and forget that at the center of every story is us, the humans. Now, that's not to say that these type of movies aren't fun to watch, but my expectations when going to watch these films is just that, monsters fighting and things getting blown up. Man, I'm really surprised Michael Bay never got his fingers into a monsterverse. Oh, that's right, he was blowing up everything else. Okay, enough of that. That brings us to Godzilla Minus One. At the heart of Godzilla Minus One lies a truly captivating story, and the time period is, honestly, it's a perfect place to pick this story up. Japan is at its lowest point as the film begins right at the end of World War II, and reeling in the devastation and the choices that the people have to sort through emerges a new threat in the form of Godzilla. If post-war Japan were to set the country back to zero, then Godzilla arriving takes it back another step. Hence the title, Godzilla Minus One. And honestly, as weird as it may sound, and like I said earlier, this truly is a wonderful spot to begin this story, because the film's storytelling arguably positions it among the best in the Godzilla franchise. Grounding the narrative in relatable human experiences, the monstrous encounters take on greater significance. Godzilla becomes more than just a mere force of destruction. It becomes a symbolic manifestation of human resilience and the indomitable spirit to overcome challenges. And that overarching tone is felt throughout the entire film. It's brilliantly done. It's almost the same kind of take that Gareth Edwards' 2014 Godzilla film took in its narrative, but in this film the narrative works a lot better, and that there's also a lot more Godzilla than this film. Emotional depth and the endearing qualities of the narrative elevate it beyond just mere monster mayhem. It's there, don't get me wrong, but again, it's about us, the humans. Director Takashi Yamazaki takes the time to establish a compelling human element and makes you truly emotionally invested in the character's journey. Overall, Yamazaki's direction in the film truly deserves the praise it's been getting. Despite a reported budget of around $15 million, Godzilla Minus One boasts astonishing visual effects. It's honestly insane to hear such a small number attached to this film to see the quality of visual effects that we get in this film. As most of you know, Hollywood is often synonymous with big budget extravaganzas, but this production proves that creativity, skill, and time can triumph over financial resources. Unlike some of the awful visual effects work that we get in our films that looks like it was completed last Friday. Now, besides the 1954 Godzilla film, I pretty much have zero knowledge of Japanese cinema, but one thing I noticed that was different from Western cinema was the use of music. Now, I don't know if that's indicative of all Japanese cinema or if that was just a straight director's choice, but Godzilla Minus One occasionally opts for silence when Western audiences might expect music. Now, this is probably just me noticing things like this, but these kind of certain choices allow certain scenes to breathe, but when the music does kick in, the score absolutely hits you in the face with what's happening on screen. The music here is brilliantly done. Don't you worry, because the classic Godzilla score is there in all of its beautiful glory. You want me to get nitpicky about something I didn't like? Really, the only thing that I didn't like, and it's something I complain about all the time, is the pacing. It's not that the film's long, it clocks in at just a little over 2 hours, but there are definitely certain scenes that make the film feel a bit draggy. This could tie into my point about the absence of music. Whereas compared to the 2014 Godzilla film, that film clocks in at just about the same amount of time, but that film definitely feels like it was moving the whole time, even with the absence of Godzilla. And look, I'm not a filmmaker, but it could be just maybe that the balance between the human narrative and the monster mayhem could have slightly been better managed to maintain a more consistent pace. I don't know. Again, I feel like I'm nitpicking at this because this movie is great. And honestly, this small issue doesn't overshadow the film's overall brilliance. I can't get over enough how when I walked out of that movie, I was just blown away by what I saw on screen. Easily, Godzilla Minus One emerges as a triumphant addition to the Godzilla franchise, and the argument's absolutely there that this could very well be the greatest Godzilla film we've ever gotten. Having a film that defies budgetary expectations and delivers a heartfelt cinematic experience is at the core of it. I cannot recommend this film enough to everyone. This feels like a must-watch, and when you know particular aspects about the production and behind the scenes of the film, it makes it that much more grand. One quick note about the movie though is that it's completely subtitled with the exception of about 15 seconds, so if you're not a fan of reading while watching films, well, learn to read faster. As always, I encourage you to watch the film and form your own opinion though. Let me know your thoughts about it down in the comments below and have your voices heard. Also, if you enjoyed this review, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to get a new movie review from me every week. Next time, the Hunger Games are back to give us more insight into class warfare in Hunger Games: Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. The first two Hunger Game films were fantastic, but it definitely ended on a whimper, so I'm not really sure what to expect from this film, but I'm definitely interested in returning to that world. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys at the theaters next week.